obviously be played over music, so you just have the images changing, you can have the person speaking, you can do all different sorts of things. Now, we did last week have somebody actually doing that. They produced, showed you the document, didn't I? They showed you the pictures. Shall I get that?
Yeah, I think that was...
Well, we could accommodate this, I mean, whatever a customer wanted could be displayed, no problem at all. It would also be possible to incorporate web cameras inside the chapel, which could be quite small. And this gentleman was suggesting perhaps 1 or 2 locations, wasn't it? Perhaps one central and one to the side, so that the service could be transmitted around the world by the internet.
Yeah.
This is a funeral that they had for this gentleman, and they made, this is the service sheets that they made up for him, obviously showing you sort of in a sense his lifetime in pictures really. And they had this on the wall itself, and it just faded up and down, and all the pictures just kept appearing on and off the screen. But obviously in our chapel, it's so light, it's quite difficult to see some of them. But this is, I mean, this is sort of thing now, this is starting to move forward more now, people wanting to do this. And I mean, in the back it says, if you would like to receive a DVD, please contact the family. I don't quite know in a sense, but that's what, you know, this is where we are now with this. They're starting to ask for things like this. And the concern I've got was that, although this man came in to see me, he had this screen that he had, we'd have to bring in a little, like this, a stand-up screen, and put it at the front, which is, again, in our chapel quite light, difficult to see. And he was then saying about the equipment that you would need. You'd need to have it really in the centre of the chapel, sort of looking at the front or doing something, and it'd be quite difficult to do it in that way. You'd have to put it at the side. And he was then talking about all sorts of expensive equipment that we'd have to be leasing from him, and you know, all sorts of costs. And, you know, but I mean, what the idea is, this is starting to become more now. And like I say, in Australia, he saw it in Australia, and he wants to be the main agent in this country. And so obviously it's something that he's seen and thought was a money spinner for himself. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be for us.
Yes.
But it would be nice to be able to have some form of being able to have it so that they have sort of, I presume most people can put a DVD together like this. Photographs, I don't know. I've never done it myself. And to be able to play it on the wall. And then obviously to keep it either with music or, you know, just as while people are talking.
Well, yes, we can accommodate that. I think our view was, though, that we didn't want to have just one central screen, because that would... it's impossible to integrate that within the form of the way the chapel's developing. As soon as we've gone for a three-dimensional catafalque, you have to be looking at a number of screens to actually make it work.
Would they be coming down, or would they be there permanently?
They would be permanently on the wall. They could be behind curtains, but they would be permanently on the wall.
There's potential discussion on projection as well.
Yes.
But we need to discuss light values to see whether the picture will be as a result of the
Like
but
I say,
from what we were told, the cost of large plasma screens is coming down every year.
yes.
And we actually got into a point where the guy was saying he didn't want to specify a screen at tender stage. He simply wanted to put a sum in because he'd need to specify it at the moment that the contractor was ready to buy it. Because new screens are constantly being changed. The new ones are constantly coming in.
Yes. I mean, that would be nice, but also the concern I've got would be the sort of light that would be coming down. How would it both tie in together, in a sense? How would the light that came in, or artificial light that came in, how would that affect things like this?
Well, I've never seen this chapel as being as bright as the present one. I always saw it as being more traditionally church-like and a duller light value.
Yes.
The chapel is unusually bright, from my experience, although it is lovely. But I never saw this as being quite that bright. If there was an issue over too much illumination going in, Toby and I thought that we could devise a scheme of horizontal blinds that could be pulled along the top of the diffuser to shut some light out in the course of the day.
Yeah.
And it would not be difficult to incorporate blinds or even switch glass to actually shut out light from here.
I mean, that's all we've ever thought with this one, is now people are asking us to put these things on the wall in the chapel. All we need is some blinds on the top, and we'll be okay in a sense. But again, it's another make do with what we've got, whereas this would be
Well, I mean, there's an advantage with plasma over projection anyway, isn't there? Because you haven't got the actual equipment to feed
No,
stuck out here
no,
projecting.
that's it. That's. I mean, this man said in this
feed
chapel.
from over here.
Yeah,
you can just
it's
sort
all.
of- it's all-
This is what I wanted in a sense, the smooth lines that you're talking about.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm completely bothered by the air conditioning units in the chapel and all the other bits that we've added on to the chapel, and it grates me every time I go in there. So it'd be nice to keep the lines, as you said, clear and simple, and not have screens or projectors sort of sticking out of the building.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so somehow being able to do that was obviously sort of too technical for me to think of. It's not like.
Well, with projections, it is possible to add a sort of semi-opaque glass screen in these walls and project from behind in the coffin stalls.
Yeah.
From up above, which would, those rooms would be very dark anyway, I imagine.
Mm.
Light would very rarely be on. So you could rear project it there and just have.
I mean, there's nothing to say in a sense that we couldn't project a picture on there on a regular, for 1 week we keep just this picture going, and when people want to, we then turn that one off in a sense like a painting in a way.
Or you could do your film on it.
Yes.